Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. In today's video we'll be learning how to cut a princess dart bustier with this asymmetric neck. So I have all the markings I need here. So this is from the shoulder to the chest line, from the shoulder to the bust, from the shoulder to the under bust, the shoulder to the waist, and I have the extra 2 inches allowance, seam allowance around here. So I have the shoulder slope of 1 inch here, and I have the shoulder to shoulder measurement here, which is here. You measure your shoulder to shoulder measurement, and then I took the armhole line. So when you want to take the armhole line, make sure you've already taken the shoulder slope before you now take your armhole line. So I have the nipple to nipple measurement I'm working with. I'm using the nipple to nipple measurement I'm working with is 8 inches. So on fold is 4 inches. Then I added half an inch seam allowance to make it 4.5. So next thing you want to do is, because it's a princess dart allowance, then you look for the center of the armhole. The center is 4 inches. It's 4 inches. Then you come out by half an inch here. Okay. I came down by half an inch. Then you curve. So I came down by half an inch. You keep that aside. This is the half an inch. You keep it aside. Then for the dart intake, for princess dart bustier, there are several ways of taking the dart. You can either shear the dart on both sides of your nipple to nipple measurement. For instance, the dart intake I'm taking in is 2 inches. You can either take 1 inch on this side and also 1 inch on this side, or you can take half an inch on this side and take 1.5 on this side. And also you can take the whole 2 inches on the side, as in towards the side seam. You can take the whole 2 inches depending on the kind of princess dart you want. So the one I'll be taking all the dart intake on one side, which is the side that is towards the side seam. So I'm going to be taking 2 inches here at the under bust area, 2 inches. Then coming to the waist area, you come down by you use 1/3. Okay, this is 1/3. 1/3. This excess, you don't need to mind this excess, but it's important you put it there so that by the time you are done joining both the front and back together, you can trim off the excess at the front. It's better you have the excess at the front than for you to be short of fabric at the front, because it's a princess dart bustier. We are going to be taking in some dart intake from the armhole, and by the time you take it, the side of the front bodies will be shortened. If you are taking, for instance, 1 inch at the dart at the armhole area, by the time you take in the 1 inch, the side of the front bodies will be shortened by 1 inch. So it's better you add extra allowance there that you can trim it off once you are done. It's better you have that. So the next thing I want to do is, this is my nipple to nipple. This is the nipple to nipple measurement. Then you come down from the bust point by 1 inch, and you also go up from the bust point by 1 inch. This is so that you can give enough room for the bust. So now from the center, I took around here, you come down by 1 inch. I'll come down by 1 inch from the center. Can you see now? Come down by 1 inch. Then you connect it to the top here. Connect it to the top here, that 1 inch. Connect it here like so. You can use your French curve and you can use your freehand, but I prefer using my freehand for this part. So then you go ahead and you connect it. Can you see? connect it, and then you straight up this place. My ruler is not with me right here. And then you connect this place. Make sure you don't have sharp edge around here. Try to blend the curve. Okay, this is it. So can you see? So the next thing now is, you know, from the center here you came down by 1 inch. Then you are now going to take the dart intake of 1 inch, which is here. Can you see it? Then you connect it to this place. You curve it from here. Can you see? You curve it from here and you connect it here. So it depends on how prominent you want the bust area to be. You can use 2.5 depending on how tapered you want it to come. If you want to use 2.5, just take 2.5 like so. Can you see? And then you blend from here. Can you see? The more dart intake you have, the more the curve will go in. Okay, the more it goes in. So this is the 1 inch I took away here. So for here I'll use 2.5. So which means if you are using 2.5 here, you'll be using like 2.25 here. Okay, use 2.25. Okay, so you blend this place up. So I can decide to use either the first one I did here or the second one I did. So the more the dart intake, the more it, you know, it tapers, the more your bust is prominent by the time you wear the blouse. So I'll just use this one. So, and I'll curve this. So now you curve your armhole. Okay, so I'll just go ahead and curve the armhole. I've curved the armhole like so, and then I'm going to take the measurements. The bust I'm working with is 40 inches, and the quarter of 40 inches is 10, plus 2 inches seam allowance is 10. Then you measure what you'll be taking off on this place. It's about 1 inch. It's about half an inch. So that means you have 10.5. Then 2 inches for seam allowance. You had the 2 inches for seam allowance here. And remember that you are taking off 1 inch for this dart intake. So it's going to affect your armhole. So you need to, you know, replace the 1 inch here, which is what I have here. So this, you also connect your armhole to this place. I connected it here. Okay, so the under bust area I'm working with is 34. So quarter of 34 is 8.5. Okay, so now you measure what you have here. I'm taking away 2.5 here. Okay, and then you'll be needing half an inch here, half an inch here to join it together. That's 1 inch. So that means 3.5 is what I'll be replacing back here. Okay, then plus 2 inches seam allowance. You had it. Then for the waist area, the waist I have 9 inches. That's 36 divided by 4 is 9 inches. Okay, you measure what you're taking away here. 2.5, 2.25 plus 1 inch. You have 3.25. You have 3.25. Here is 3. Here is 3.5, and here is 3.25. 10 plus 2 inches seam allowance. You had it here. Can you see? And then you connect it together. Connect it here as well. Connect all the lines together. Can you see what I have? So now you go up from the initial seam allowance, which is 2 inches. Can you see? The initial 2 inches allowance, you go up by half an inch. So from the half an inch, you curve it, you slant it up like this, and then you curve this one down here. You bring the curve you bring it down. Can you see? It's meant to be curved, not straight. So I'm done with this part now. Just blend this place, you blend it up, so you have a nice finishing around here. So, and then remember to extend this place. Do not forget to extend this place, because if you don't, you'll be short of fabric and you'll be forced to trim off your shoulder to shoulder measurements just to meet up with the remaining that is left. So, and you don't want that to happen, so you need to extend this area. So I like extending by 2 inches, 2.5. I like being on the safe side so that I won't be regretting. So you extend by either 2 inches or 2.5. It's better to add more. By the time you are done joining, just trim off the excess. It won't take you anything. It won't cost you anything to trim off the excess. It's better to be on the safe side. So I have just extended it by 2 inches. You can extend by 2.5, and then you connect it back. Connect it back, okay? Just connect it back. So for the neck, I'll be doing asymmetric neck, okay? So the width of the neck is 4 inches. So I also use 4 inches for the back. For the back dart is just your normal dart, okay? It's your normal dart. So this is 4 inches, and then I'm using a neck depth of about 6.5. So I'm using a neck depth of about let's say 7 inches for the front. It's an asymmetric neck. Okay, so 4 inches for the width. The width of the blouse is 4 inches. So because it's an asymmetric neck, so the first thing I'll do is I want to cut off the dart I did here so I can focus on the neck. So I'll go ahead and cut off the since I'm going to be opening this up. So remember the neck width is 4 inches. You remember, 4 inches, and the depth is about 7 inches. So then you can now open it up now. So can you see? So because it's an asymmetric neck, so I want one side to be like a curved neck, while one side will be like a V-neck. So all you need to do is from here now, you start curving from here. Okay. To this place. Can you see what I have? Start curving from here. If you want it to go down more, you can come down like so. Can you see? Can come down like this and then match it up again if you want it to come down. So can you see what I have here? It's an asymmetric neck, depending on how low you want it to come. So I'll just go ahead and cut. Then you can add your seam allowance all around. So I'll be adding my seam allowance all around. And also for this place too, I'll just add about 1/4 inch seam allowance. So I'll go ahead and cut. So make sure you know which side is you will be facing the right side and which side will be facing the left side. So this asymmetric, this side here will be the one at the left area. So now go ahead and cut. So this is what it's going to look like. This is what the neck will look like. Can you see? You're also going to cut your lining the same way. So this is it. This is what the blouse looks like. So I'll show you what it looks like after, you know, joining and all of that. See what it looks like here now. Can you see? So you are going to be cutting your lining the same way, and then if you want to add a fusible interfacing, you can put it. If you want to add your pad, you can put your pad there. If you don't know how to put pad or how to cut pad for your blouse, I have a video on that and I will link it in the description box below. So guys, this is the look of the neck. You can see how the neck is looking pretty, and this is the Princess Dart Bustier as well, looking pretty as well. Please don't mind my mannequin. The mannequin. So guys, this is all about. Thank you guys for watching this tutorial, and I will see you guys in my next video. So I'm going to link the this tutorial of the flare and the sleeve in my description box. Bye.